I saw the unexpected on my wife's computer part to ending. Check out the first part in the link down below in comments or in my channel. Let's get going. It seems like we have some sort of development each day. Today was the first day we had a conversation that wasn't about the affair. We did talk about the affair at length. It was actually a relief to not be talking about that and just have small talk. This whole thing has been exhausting. Every day I talk to her, I test her to see if she's being honest, and the last few days, she seems to be being forthcoming. I did ask her how she feels about me, and her answer actually made a lot of sense to me. She said if she told me that she was in love with me now after saying she was not last week, I should know she is still lying and I wouldn't believe it anyway. She also said that she obviously wouldn't have been able to do this in the first place if she was in love with me. I asked her if she was in love with the other man, and she said no. She explained how she might have been before, but now that she knows he lied to her and that he told the OMW that she is obsessed with him, all her texts show he pursued her. She is done with him. She said, at this point, she's not in love with the other man, and she's not in love with me, but wants to see if there can love between us again. She also said that she wants to come back home, but knows that we will go right back unless we start over as to people who are dating. We talked a lot about the issues we had before the affair. She said she needs to see a therapist and work on her issues. She also said I need to be able to have time to work on mine. I guess we are just a former couple that is now separated and have the possibility of dating in the future. I still feel like she is sweeping things under the rug, and I feel like I'm having episodes where I'm just filled with rage. Last night, we scheduled to talk at night, so we had dinner with the kids at home. After we ate, she turned on the TV, and something about having affairs came on and it sent me over the edge. I left for a little while to blow off steam. Today, my son was having a tantrum when he woke up and she could not get him to stop. I walked over and calmed him down in a few seconds. It made me think of all the times I was rushing the kids out the door to school, feeding them, dressing them, brushing their teeth. Meanwhile, she was texting this guy good morning on her commute to work, then spending all day texting him nonstop. That poured right into texting him at home while I watched the kids. I sent her an angry text this morning telling her I was enraged, and she said I have every right to be and that she was sorry. My best friend said that it might seem like I'm going backwards by complaining to her, but it's actually a step forward because I'm doing something I never did before the affair. I'm venting my frustrations to her. We talked things through yesterday and today and have come to a few conclusions. She has major issues with self-worth. I have major hang-ups about sex. We need to put our focus on the kids. We are both seeing therapists. We were planning on seeing one together as well, but in talking, realized we were nowhere close to reconciling. So we won't be exploring that until we get to a point we both are sure we want to try. She said I obviously haven't made a decision to try reconciling or not because each time we talk, I go from full-on divorce to wanting to be together. She said it is obvious I don't trust her, but she claims that she's been thinking of me lately and all the good traits I had that she overlooked for so long are becoming more apparent to her. She claims she still has feelings, but it doesn't mean she has decided to reconcile either because she feels there was something missing that made it okay in her mind to do this. She said she needs to explore that with her therapist, and I need time to recover so this isn't the only thing I'm thinking about all day. She is moving into another more permanent place soon. We agreed we would spend time apart, and in a few months, we would regroup to see if we should start dating again. I asked her if I was free to date other people, and she said she couldn't stop me, but would like to know if I do make that decision. She said she is only thinking about me as a possibility now, and the next person she will be dating is me unless I tell her I've moved on. So there you have it. The cards are still not stacked in my favor. Into weeks, I've gone from uncovering this affair, and her saying no chance of reconciling to where we are now to people who are unsure if they even want to reconcile, but both claiming they'd like to discuss it after some time has passed. We are officially separated, but exclusively not dating yet. There is the possibility of low testosterone or depression. Both would make sense. It's also true that there is a strong urge for me to reconcile. I'm just trying to determine if I want to reconcile, because the initial discovery of this affair was followed with the choice to go with the other man. I think it's possible that set me off and made me think she belonged with me and the kids, so that might be the reason for leaning towards reconciliation. I just haven't had the clarity to determine that yet. Am I still in love with her? It's crazy, but yes, I am most definitely still in love with her. Did I replace her sexually? It's really strange, but I would go to bed, and most nights think that I would try to have sex with her, but not even make the attempt. Yes, I would get up in the night and take care of myself maybe 2 a week. My wife is very attractive. We took a trip to Vegas earlier in the year, and it was a constant barrage of guys hitting on her. Either me or one of my guy friends would always have to be with her or she would be getting hit on. I never lost the desire to have sex with her, but when I was actually lying there in bed with her, I'd get so anxious thinking about that look on her face when the baby was being delivered. It would stop me from trying. Her issues stem from her upbringing. She often mentioned how her mother would criticize her looks growing up. "You're so pretty. If your nose was a little smaller, you would be really pretty." She also said her first boyfriend in high school would put her down and was hitting her. He got her pregnant and did not even pick her up from the abortion clinic after. She took a bus home by herself. She gained some weight after that and developed body images. She's been skinny since before I met her, but she sees herself as having a gross body. I often notice her with a concerned look on her face when she sees herself in the mirror. The thing is, this entire time, we still were friendly. Talked often and laughed a lot. It was only within the last few weeks she had withdrawn a lot, which spiked my suspicions. Because we weren't fighting, it didn't seem like our problems were that bad to me, more like a dry spell than the road to divorce. This affair has obviously cast a light on all the problems we have as individuals and how those affected our relationship with each other. Again, the affair was all her fault. There's no way I would have ever done that to her. She knows this, and any time it comes up, she apologizes. This is something we will both need to explore on our own. How did she go from talking to a coworker to actually falling in love with him? How did she even leave herself open to that possibility? Ask if they can talk. He will tell her how he is still in love with her and try to convince her to take it underground until they can be with each other. She has adamantly said there is no way she would ever go back to him, because the part she was attracted to about him was that he told her he would leave his wife and take care of her, which he has now admitted to lying about. And now she knows he's a serial cheater. She says she is grossed out by him. Again, who knows? She's a known liar now too. I've thought of hiring a private investigator or following her to a meeting myself. In the end, I realize if she is going to cheat again, she is going to cheat. She's just gonna be better at it at this point because she now knows all the ways you can get caught. I'm moving on, and if we work something out in the end, then I'll worry about the other man at that point. I've exposed him for what he is, and she is aware of all the lies he's told and his history of being a serial cheater with coworkers. If she wants him at this point, she's not someone I would want to be with anyway. I do want to reconcile, but I'm not ready for that. She's not ready for that. I do still have evidence at work, but because people are already talking. She knows she is under a microscope. Her work's only policy is no dating your direct manager. Even her promotion, there's no one else in line to get it, and the person currently with that position is getting a promotion. There would likely be no repercussions at work other than all the whispers and glances. In terms of what is more important, at this point, the marriage or her job. As I see it, we don't have a marriage. I'm in therapy to see if there's a way to overcome the whole issue I had with childbirth. Not to mention this affair. I'm job hunting like crazy. I'm waiting for my dad to come help out so I can join a gym. Do I want to reconcile? Yes. Am I going to now? No. What I'm going to do now is try to work on myself and give my kids extra love and attention. At this point, I realize that this whole time, I have still played the same role I did when this all happened. I'm the one that supports her by taking care of the kids. I'm the one she can rely on to do whatever she cannot. She's really scared of being by herself. All week, she's been staying in an empty house with nothing but a bed, and we are still texting at night so someone knows she is safe. She came to see the kids tonight and have dinner, and that's all stuff she can always expect from me. I decided tonight that we are getting a divorce. I asked if she had feelings for the other man, and after a long pause, she said, "I don't know." Then she followed up by saying, "How can I know when everything it was based on was a lie?" I said, "Well, that's how you should know." I asked if she had any feelings for me, and she said, "It's hard to tell because I haven't really lost you." I told her let's stop fooling ourselves with this our nonsense and start acting like we know where this is going. Divorce. She's planning on renting an apartment tomorrow. Is there a possibility of our? She keeps saying so, but for the first time since she started paying me compliments, I really feel like there is no chance because that answer tonight killed any bit of hope I had left. I thought I was her third or fourth priority over the kids, work, and the other man. But tonight, I realized that above all else, her priority is herself. If one of those things would be easiest for her to cut out, it would be me. So before we even try I'm calling it off. It's over. Just a side note, earlier today, I saw two girls talking and walked up and started a conversation. Just to try flirting. It felt nerve-wracking and a little awkward at first. But by the time I left, they were smiling and laughing and asking me questions about me. It felt good. Well, 2 nights ago, my son started school. That meant I had to drop off 2 kids at the same time. So I agreed to let her stay the night and drop one of them off. Lo and behold, around 11 at night, she goes into a room with nothing but her phone and I hear text message notifications going off. They had been going off all day as well. It is a very specific text message sound which she usually has designated for one of her girlfriends. That friend lives out of town and they sometimes go in stretches where they do not talk, text. So yesterday, I called that friend and told her the situation and asked if she had been texting my wife the night before. She said no. So when my wife showed up after work, I asked her if she has been texting with that friend and she say no. Edit, actually my wife said, yes, she had been texting with that friend. I say, let me see your phone then. And she gets mad at me and says she's tired of being scrutinized, and that if we are separated, I have no right to look at her phone. When I get up in anger, I see her quickly log on the phone and start clicking away. I'm guessing to delete something. She adamantly said she was not deleting anything and that she could show me the texts from that friend. But I felt like there's no point if she already deleted them. I told her I'm done. I'm done protecting her. I'm done being in this marriage. I contacted those who were closest to her last night in an email explaining how she had an affair. I was planning on calling her HR department as well, but a friend of mine who is an attorney cautioned me that if they lose their jobs, there is the possibility of a lawsuit against me, so I have to be careful. I am going to talk to an attorney soon, and if he gives me the green light, I'm going to be calling her HR to report that they've been going on these business trips under the guise of work. But they've just been so they can see each other. I'm also going to report that the OM, who is in sales and can expense business hotel stays, has been staying in hotels and expensing it because his wife has thrown him out of the house. 1 month update. I've contacted all of her close friends and let them know the truth about why we are separated. She has only told about half of them. I also contacted her family. I drafted the letter to HR and found all the appropriate contacts. Head of her department. Head of HR. Who she reports directly to. I could not figure out who the OM reports to and printed the letters. I wonder if I could just leave them out for her to find and not get her fired. I also copied the letter and sent it to the OM a few days ago. I found pictures of them on her computer and forwarded some to myself. At the bottom of the letter, I wrote, attachments, emails between the 2 parties, photos of both parties in bed, photos of the OM's torso. I wish I could see his stupid face when he reads it. Well, I went ahead and started the process. I gave her the divorce papers and my demands and started contacting her friends to let them know what is going on. I printed the letters to send to HR at her work. I had to run out tonight to take care of a few things. During that time, I sent a text to the other man saying that we are getting divorced. He responded by saying he was working on his family and not to contact him again. I sent him a copy of the letter, and he freaked out. His wife started contacting me begging not to send the letter. He ignored me, but all of a sudden, he started asking what I wanted. I told him to think something up. He was calm at first, but I could tell he was getting nervous. Later I actually called him. He didn't pick up, but all of a sudden, he picked up and I spoke to him. He was mad I called, but it soon went from angry to terrified. His wife was in the background asking what I wanted. After a long silence by me, he finally started begging and pleading with me. Then he got very defensive and said he was blocking my number and calling an attorney. I walked back in the house after talking to him outside, and my wife was standing there with tears. I knew she hadn't talked to him because he had just hung up on me, but it ends up she was in tears because she saw the divorce forms. Also, one of her friends contacted her, so she knew I was contacting people today. She apologized profusely and said she knew what a mistake this was and not to divorce and to let us have a chance. She said she hated seeing me so angry and hurt and just wants to try to reconcile. I asked her what brought it on and she said it was the divorce papers. I asked if she saw anything else or heard anything else. She said no. I asked her if she would be willing to give up her job because of this. She said that if it would give us a chance then she would. I showed her the letters to HR and told her about contacting the OM. She did not get mad about it, but said she would like to stop contact with him and asked that she have a chance to find another job instead of being fired. After talking to the OM and his wife, I believe they have not been in contact. My wife cried the whole night, and it's been about 5 hours since we started talking. She finally seemed remorseful and genuine. She asked me please for another chance. She said she would be completely transparent from now on. I told her we still need time apart. She asked if I would be willing to go to couples counseling, if you've been following along. She initially said no when I brought it up. I agreed but said we should still spend time apart to see if I can ever get over this. 1 week later, here's the latest update. We are working on her. The OM is terrified of me. He went the opposite direction. Instead of trying to avoid HR, he actually called HR and said I was a danger to him. My wife got called in to talk to someone at HR today. The OM didn't even have the decency to give my wife a heads up. She got ambushed at work. I'm fairly certain at this point that the OM is going nowhere near my wife. I'm also fairly certain that my wife is seeing the OM for what he really is. A self-serving coward. I know where I stand with her. I'm nowhere near her first priority still. But we are making small steps. From where we were a few weeks ago, I would have been fine if she said she already contacted him and thought I should know. 1 month update. Hey everyone. So nice of you guys to ask for an update. Sorry I've been so silent for such a long time. I'm doing great. The job hunt is still on. I'm networking and sending out resumes daily. My wife had a meeting at her office last week, and her AP was there. She was calling, texting me constantly, just to reassure me nothing was happening. She said they avoided each other all week, and it was awkward. I told her if she needs to, go talk to him and clear the air. She ended up talking to him and they agreed to steer clear of each other. I ended up deciding on divorce as the best option anyway, because she doesn't have romantic feelings towards me. She again asked that we try counseling first. We have yet to find a marriage counselor, so we have yet to go. In the meantime, I've been going out with friends often, and just having a good time. I'm meeting a lot of girls. I'm at the point that I'm realizing it will never be what it once was. So I'm trying to figure out if it's better for me to start over or if it's worth it to work things out. I still go back and forth minute by minute. I'm also concerned that we are falling into old patterns. She is in constant contact with me throughout the day and night. I just don't think that's conducive to romantic feelings. I'm torn between cutting her off and staying in contact. Familiarity breeds contempt, right? I'm not sure what is the best course. We are having a birthday party for my daughter this weekend. It will be the first time she sees some of my friends and family since her affair was exposed. I've been doing some damage control to let people know that they are not to confront her at the party because I don't want people blowing up at her and ruining the birthday party. It feels a little like I'm helping her cover up her affair though. 1 week later, not much to report. The wife is at the conference her and the OM first started flirting at a year ago. This is the one that is in Phoenix. She's calling and texting me often to let me know what's up. My daughter got an iPad for her birthday, so she is FaceTiming with my wife often. I'm guessing no funny business is going on, but she's a liar so who knows. But I'm finding out the question might be who cares. In the meantime, I've been talking to a few girls I've met and getting hit on. I went to a party a few weekends ago, and the friend who invited me asked me to go to another party this weekend. But I can't make it because I'm having surgery on Friday. He said I should go because some people were asking about me. My wife is coming on Friday to help take care of me and the kids while I recover. At this point, with other females giving me attention, I'm less inclined to go back to my cheater wife. I also got a job interview for a job I would love to get. That is also making me less inclined to take my wife back. She still wants to go to counseling, but we have yet to find one who works for our schedules. I've been working out like crazy to get my mind off the situation, and I'm in the best shape of my life, feeling good about myself and my prospects. Another week later, this morning my wife called me to warn me that the other man's wife might be contacting me. She said they have been texting but it's just to end things. I told her I didn't believe her, and that she promised absolute transparency. She said she didn't tell me because she was trying to protect me. Again, what a martyr. I told her no, the only reason you are telling me now is that you guys are caught again. I asked her if he said he still loves her and wants to be with her. She admitted that he did. I asked her if she wants to be with him. She admitted that she thought maybe someday they could be together. I told her from now on, unless it's about our divorce or a concern with the kids, do not contact me. Latest update. So we are basically at square one from when I found out about the affair. After yelling at her this morning and deciding on divorce, we sat down once the kids were asleep and had a talk. I said if I'm not choice number one, I'm not an option at all. She admitted again that she wants to be with the other man. I told her to go ahead and I will be on constant vigil to make sure she never lets it get in the way of her being with the children. I later checked email and found the OM wife had contacted me. She asked if we could talk on the phone. We'll update once we talk. I also got a job interview tomorrow, so wish me luck. So I talked to the OMW boy. Oh boy, is my wife in for a surprise. The OM tattooed his wife's name on his chest. He tattooed a ring on his finger. He only started calling my wife again when his wife and him got in a big fight. My wife thinks he just couldn't be away from her. He is using her as a backup, and if she falls for it, she will have to deal with it. Not my problem. I refuse to be a consolation prize. Well, now my wife is one. I have told her before I would give it a chance at first, because when she saw the divorce form she freaked out and begged me to go to counseling with her. We would have gone to session 1 in 2 days from now, but she broke the no contact rule. They worked together, so they still had work contact, but it was supposed to be nothing personal. And more importantly, the 100% transparency rule. She tried to explain she was trying to brush him off according to her, but she should have told me he was contacting her. The continued hiding broke that trust. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. She thought by telling me it would keep me from getting angry. But it was game over for me from that point. So yes, I'm done with being choice 2 when other girls are attempting to make me choice 1. She wants to be choice 2, she is free to go ahead. By the way, I appreciate all the replies, and I just don't want her anymore. I would have loved to give my kids a home with both parents, and show them relationships need to be worked on to work. But I can't do that with someone who keeps lying and making the kids a lesser priority. I won't be a doormat and make my son think he should allow someone to do that to him. I need to lead by example. A line was crossed and I won't stand by and make him think it's okay. It's funny, yesterday she told me to bring the kids to her work next week to attend their Halloween party. I didn't reply at first, but it dawned on me. You want them there. You leave work early and come pick them up. Why would I drive 2 hours round trip so she doesn't have to take time off? Oh, so she can dedicate that time to flying to Florida. Duck off. I told her I'm not ever going to the place you go to cheat. She was confused by my response. Comments. As a guy myself, it's harrowing reading. I don't envy your position, and I have to say that you have endured the unendurable. It seems to me that you have fought tooth and nail and gone above and beyond to try and save your marriage. But from the continued deceit and outright admission that she wants to be with the other man, she's just gone. She might realize one day that she made a mistake, but that day is not today or any day soon. I'll just say it because nobody else has. It's time to let go, buddy. OP responds. I've come to that same conclusion. It's definitely time to move on. I spent the better part of the day trying to convince the OMW of the same thing. She called me multiple times today, and although I want to be done with it, I'm finding it helped me greatly to also let her know she's too good for this garbage. My focus is now solely on preserving the life my children are accustomed to and leading them to understanding relationships like this intolerable. I just want them to know they shouldn't behave this way, and shouldn't ever allow someone else to do the same. Update, well, we are hammering out the divorce terms. Both of us are making an attempt at being fair. She has gone from I'm not paying a man alimony to offering a quarter of her paycheck to now offering half. In the meantime, the other man's wife has been calling me for support. I keep telling her to ditch that idiot. Well, the latest is that he was out here with my wife for 3 days a few weeks ago. His wife tells me he made a pass at her after that, and she figured out his password for his personal credit card. Guess what? He's been spending hundreds at different bars every night. He's also been frequenting clubs and dropping a lot of money. He's staying at a hotel near his house, but there are charges for cheap hotels at the same time. Also, she found a receipt for protections, and I know he and my wife are not using them. So we have come to the conclusion he is going to dirty clubs regularly. Basically, he's already cheating not just on his wife, but mine too. I could be nice and tell her, but yeah, I have no interest in the OMW. Making her feel better does give me some satisfaction. And despite all this, I can tell she wants him back. I know this is a huge mistake, so I'm also taking satisfaction from telling her to never allow him back in. Yes, their affair is now out in the open. I'm actually encouraging it now. I realized they were at the end of it when I discovered it, and the separation for them actually rekindled it for them. I also realized no two people deserve each other more. As for my soon-to-be ex-wife, I even asked her close friend, whose husband cheated on her, and she said not to say anything because despite what she does know, she still chose him. She's still in a fog. Even if I showed her the charges and receipts, she wouldn't believe it. Every time she tries to share food with the kids, I interject right away. Everything she touches when she eats is being treated like it's radioactive. 1 month update. So early on, my wife said that she would never bring this guy around to meet the kids. The OMW calls me and says that she suspects he is applying for a job out here. So I ask my wife and she says he has been applying and plans on moving here. I ask her where he'll be staying and she says he'll get his own place but might stay over at her place too. I tell her, what about the kids? She's like, don't worry, I won't introduce them for a while. So I cussed my wife out like crazy because there is no way I'm letting that guy meet my kids even once. First of all, he's leaving his kids to take a job on the other side of the country. He's a lying sack of you know what. And now with all the stuff he's been up to, there is no way I want him anywhere near them. I told her I would sell the house and use all the money to pay for attorneys and fight her if she doesn't agree that he will never meet them. Today I found out he stupidly went to his own kids and told them their mother was lying about him taking a job on the West Coast. She didn't say anything to the kids, so they were like, she didn't say anything, you're taking a job on the West Coast. Now they're mad at him. By the way, after talking to my wife, the OMW sent me a message saying that the OM accused the OMW of trying to make my wife lose her children and what a horrible person she is. Then he texts me saying how I'm not a good father, and that I need to start thinking about my kids. The guy who plans on leaving his kids is saying I need to be a better father. So I spoke to my wife today and tried to come to an agreement on divorce terms. She did what she does. She said she would fight me, then said she would also not agree to the OM meeting the kids. I yelled at her like crazy and told her she is crazy for allowing someone like him near them. Not to mention near her. After talking to a friend, he brought me to the reality that in fact, I don't have a case to keep him away unless he's done something bad. He also said that if I keep going down this dark path, I'm going to end up getting in trouble myself either with the law or with the divorce. It dawned on me that the real thing I want is a divorce, and to get her out of the house with as little repercussion to the kids or my finances. I just want her out. I went to her late tonight and gave her my reasons for not wanting him to be around the kids and asking her to just get out as soon as possible. She agreed, lied, saying she will not introduce him for years. She said 3 years. But we know she meant 3 minutes. I told her to tell me the truth from now on and start right now. She admitted he is planning on coming next weekend. I told her I appreciate the truth, and let's be adults. Honestly, I'm sort of glad they are still seeing each other. Is that weird? Final update. The soon-to-be ex is moving out in January. January can't come soon enough. We've been sharing kid duty for a while, and I can see how it will work out. I'm still very worried about how the kids will take it. We agreed we will discuss it with them once she gets her own place. I met a few people and have been dating again, which was a little weird at first. I've been open with them about my situation, and that I'm just dating casually to get back into it. I even let them know I'm going on dates with other women. Oddly, they're okay with that, for now. I actually told one woman I didn't think it would work out, and wanted to end it. Which was very hard for me because she was a sweetheart. And she was very understanding. One is actually an old friend of my soon-to-be ex. She's great and seems very cool. We've only gone out once but talk often. She has a kid and our schedules just don't seem to sync too well. The last one is a little too into it, and she's awesome and gorgeous. But I'm just not sure if I'm at that point of anything too serious. She's quite a bit younger, so I'm concerned we're at such different places in our lives. Because of this, she's freaking out on me a little. Things could be worse though. We talk every day and whenever we are free, we get together. My best friend said to me recently, "Your wife basically went with the first jerk who showed interest. You have the opportunity to meet several girls and filter through what you like and don't." It was such a basic idea, but really opened my eyes to what an amazing spot I'm in. Today, my ex took the kids, and as she was leaving, I had a thought. It's so strange how a few months ago, all I wanted was to be with her. Now, there is no way I'd even consider it. Every option is better than her. Shoot, being alone is better than being with her. My comment: did you guys like this strong story? You need to have the attitude to chase what you want. There is someone else waiting for you. If you are lonely, go out there and get what you want. Believe in your values. Believe you can get what you want. I am telling you, things can change, but it won't take one day. It might take 1 week, 1 month, 1 year. You just need to remind yourself. Sub if you liked this one, and check out the other ones I have uploaded recently.